Welcome back to Crafting with Kathilee. I hope I don't have too many shadows here. In a previous video, I showed that I have this new die, and it's Tonic Studios Keepsake Bookmaker Simple Spines die set, and it makes this type of binding. I just want to show you real quick how it works. So first, I want to show you how I would have to do that before. So what I would do is I would cut approximately the size of the binding I wanted. So this one's actually going to be a little wide, but that's okay because I'm not actually going to use this one. And then I would have to put it on my scoreboard, and I would have to say, okay, say 1 inch, score at 1 inch, score at a 1/2 inch, score at 1 inch, score at 1.5 inches, and see how I just went off the edge? I do that a lot when I'm scoring, so that's one of the reasons I'm excited to have this die. Score at 2 inches, 2.5 inches, 3 inches, and then I'm going to do a score at 3.5 inches, but I probably won't need it. Okay, so I would have to do that. And I'm going to take my scoreboard out of the way here. Alright, and then I would fold with my bone folder, mountains and valleys. I would do a mountain next, and a valley, and then another, and then I would do another one, and another one. And my problem is I get impatient, and my scores aren't always perfectly accurate because of that whole slide off thing I did. Okay, and this one, because I did it in the size of my paper, this is only going to have 2 pages in it, which realistically would never happen, right? So I will take my scissor and just trim here for example purposes. Okay, so because I am doing the scoring, there is a lot of room for error. So I would glue these two together, and this would go on my spine, and so that would be my flat piece, and I would hook my pages right here. Alright, so let's do it with the die. Now you can see the die has, how big is that? About 3/8 of an inch right here, and then these are just 1/4 inch. So I would have had to do 3/8, 1/4, 3/8, 3/8, 1/4, 1/4, 3/8, 1/4, 1/4. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I will use my ATG. Okay, what I did is I went ahead and scored this so that the small ones peek up. My mountains peek up, and then my ditches are flat. And I'm going to use my ATG because I'm in a hurry. If I used glue to do these spines, I would clamp them. And my ATG is out. So I guess I am going to use some score tape to do my spine because I don't want to have to film myself. Not score tape, red line tape. And I'm probably going to run out of this too. So I'm just going to real quick throw some on here. Sorry guys, I didn't have my supplies out. So where I did this one, I'm going to go ahead and squish it together. And this one next. I can get this off without a tool. And squish this one together. And again, if I use glue, I would have to clamp it, and I don't have time to clamp it for this video. I do need a little glue there though, because I did not get it all the way to the end. So I'm just going to sneak a little glue in that spot there. Yuck. Now I'm messy. All right. And then on this one, I'll do a little more score tape. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I have been absent from my YouTube channel for probably getting close to 2 weeks now. And I apologize. Life got in the way. I have been crafting, but not the type of crafting I've been wanting to do on camera. I haven't quite perfected that yet. As you can see, I make a lot of mistakes. And also, I've been trying to walk, and I haven't been walking outside. I've actually been doing some walk at home videos where you kind of walk and do some arm exercises and squats and stuff, but it's a real low impact, low key workout where I can get 1 to 4 miles in a day worth of walking. And it's been fun and it's been easy, but unfortunately it does take time. All right, so there's my spine binding, my spine that I will hook my pages on. Can you see those? Nice, even. And here's a little mini album cover I already made. This is a simple cover. You cut 2 pieces of chipboard the same size. I don't even remember what this one is. Let's see. 5.5 and 6 1/4. So it's an odd side because I use scraps. And then looks like about a 1.5 inch spine. I just cover them. I use some bookbinding tape. I used to just use paper for this, but I found some 2-inch bookbinding tape on Amazon, and I think that's going to make my books a lot sturdier. I'm still getting the hang of it though. And let's see how this is as it comes. It's a hair too wide for my binding, so I'm going to need to trim just a little bit of that off. Don't mind me, I don't have my good trimmer out. I have my spare trimmer. It's going to be a little tricky because I don't think I can do this without, nope, I'm going to have to use, okay, this is yikes, because I'm just going to use a scissor because I already have adhesive. I already have these up and they won't sit in my, it won't sit in my trimmer right. So I'm just going to, don't do this at home, okay? Make sure it's the right size before you glue your spine thing together, because this is not going to be straight and pretty. So don't do it. Do as I say, not as I do. Make sure you trim this down before you glue those mountains together. See what I said about doing videos? Okay, so now it should fit in here, and it will. Okay, I'm going to get some thicker score tape or red line tape. Normally, I would be using my ATG, and not smart of me, I should have made sure that, I got scraps all over the place. I should have made sure that my ATG wasn't about to run out. I did a fun thing over the weekend. I went to a scrapaganza, which is so much fun. There are 15 of us, and it varies a little how many or who the 15 are. There's a group of about 30, and they just post, here's when scrapaganza is, do you want to do it? And we do it twice a year, and each person designs a two-page 12 by 12 layout and makes the page to use as a demo, as a model. And then you make kits for the other 14 people. You make kits with everything the participants need to duplicate the scrapbook pages. Now, that is a big job. Okay, just in the 12 by 12 pages, you're going to have 24 12 by 12 base pages. And then you're going to have all the mats and any die cuts or stickers or bling, everything to make 15, including your demo. You're going to make 15 2-page 12 by 12 layouts. So it's a lot of work. It usually takes me, some people start on their next ones right after the first one is held. I'm more of a procrastinator. I might have my idea a month or two before the event, but I usually don't start working on it till about 2 weeks before. And I'm usually doing some of the cutting and stuff the week before. And that's just because I say, whether this is true or not, that I do my best work under pressure. So you can see I put a lot of adhesive on this. Okay, there's a ton of adhesive. Now I'm going to try to place this somewhat centered. And I gotta see, I got about just a hair on both ends. So I'm somewhat trying to center this middle one in the middle and trying to center this in from top to bottom. I'm a little off. I dropped it. Okay, hopefully it has a little give because of the score tape. It's hard to tell because I didn't trim it straight. I think that's good. All right, so I'm just going to take my bone folder in here and kind of rub it down. All right, so now I have my spine in here. And okay, I haven't used this a lot, but I really do think this is going to be so much faster. If my album had a wider spine, I would just have to connect a few of these together. But look at how nice and straight that is. Okay, I've made quite a few of these, and I think they're always a little bit wonky. And these are just, I don't want to say they're perfect, but dang, they're close to perfect. I don't want to say they're perfect because there is no perfection for me in my paper crafting. I craft too much to worry about being perfect. Okay, see how nicely those sit down using the red line tape? Can you see how they are just really, really nice and even? And then I'm going to attach my pages to this, and I don't have pages cut. But what I would do, you can see on this picture, hope there's no glare, you would glue the pages either on the side of these, or what I like to do is I like to make a pocket. So let's pretend, I'm trying to find a scrap here, a small scrap. Let's pretend that this is a page big enough for my album. What I like to do is I like to make a pocket. And then what I do is pretend this is actually big enough to cover this whole spine. I glue the pocket on like this, so that my pages, pretend it goes here and all the way up, are actually a pocket that I can put tags and stuff in, and I would glue it on both sides of the spine. Now some people simply take their piece of cardstock that they're going to use their page, this is chipboard because I don't have my cards there, and they simply glue it to here, okay, on whichever side they want to do it consistently, and that works too. And I will show more, maybe I'll finish this album one day soon and show you how that works. But I do want to show you, okay, do you see how nice and neat that is? I don't want to brag, but do you see how nice and crisp those are? Do you see? They're just really, really nice. I want to show you, I'm looking for my clip. I had a clip here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Because these bindings are not quite worn in, I do like to clip them. Then they stay a little better when I'm storing them before I get to use them. But that is a fine looking spine. Because I do want to show you what I saw on this. And I'm not sure if you can see it very well or not. But look at here. Can you see that? This is their sample that a designer made, and it looks like a really cute album. But can you see her things aren't quite down? And on this one looks a little better. Okay, but can you see they're not, these pieces didn't have enough adhesive. The mountains that the pages go on didn't quite have enough adhesive, so they're kind of coming apart. So make sure you put enough adhesive in those mountains. And then make sure you really stick the binding part down. And again, now this one is much better. Can you see how nice those are? Just nice straight all the way down on the spine, nice and straight. This one goes up a little, so if this were my album, I would try to stick a little more adhesive in there and push it down. Anyway, that is the Tonic Studios Keepsake Book Simple Die Set. I think it's going to save me a lot of time, and I think it's going to make my spines way more accurate. And I'm in the middle of working on a big project with 4 items total, and I'm looking forward to using this on one of the 4 items, a mini album. So thanks for visiting Crafting with Kathy Lee. If you found this video interesting or informative or something, hit that like button. If you haven't already and want to, please subscribe to my channel. And if you know somebody who might be interested in learning more about these dies or something or me or whatever, share this video. Thanks for visiting.